Hey everybody, Steve Bergen. We're going to use the validation feature and we're going to create a survey, and this will be a checklist of items, and this will be part of your review homework, but you're going to learn some stuff by watching the video. So I've got a word processing document and I've got items that are not in alphabetical order, and I'm going to highlight them that go from lesson 1 to lesson 3 or 4 of our course, and then I'm going to choose copy. I think I am. And now I'm going to bring a spreadsheet over and I'm going to paste those items. I'll make column A be wide. I will sort column A. Don't need headers because I didn't put a title yet. And now they're in alphabetical order. You see them in column A. I will go to row 1 and I will insert a row. And here I will say the word topic. And here I will type in B1 the name Deborah. And here in D1 I will say the word Michael. And here in F1 I will say the word Rob. Those are my 3 favorite names in the world. And now I'm going to come to B2 and I'm going to force Deborah to type in a 1, 2, or 3 to indicate something about ampersand usage. So I can't just assume the user is going to type in 1, 2, or 3. And I'm trying to use this fancy feature under data called validation, because it's not going to let Deborah type in something other than 1, 2, or 3. So I'm going to go down to validation and I'm going to just type, maybe title is 1, 2, or 3, please. And the input message might be, hey, type 1 to mean I knew this feature before the course began. 2 means I now know it as a result of our lessons. Or 3, I am still shaky on this topic. So that's the input message that the user, the customer, in this case Deborah, is going to see. Now I'm going to go to settings and I'm going to say, what do we want to allow? And all I want to allow are 1, 2, or 3. There are lots of different choices of what you want to allow. So it's a very powerful feature of Excel that it lets you specify what's legal. And I'm now going to click OK, I believe. And now Deborah goes to type a 1 here and it says fine. But if she types in a 4, it says the value you entered is not from the required list. Now if I go to validation, I can change the error message to say something like please try again. You are allowed just 1 to enter just 1, 2, or 3. Sorry for the confusion, Steve. In other words, you can customize it that way. And now if Deborah types in a 2, she's okay. But if she types in a 0, she gets a customized error message. Okay? So I'm pretty happy with that. Now I want to fill that down. So I'll go to the fill down box and fill it down. But I know I'm going to have a bug, right? At least I think so. because of the whole business of absolute and relative. But no, I don't. That was my confusion. I'm so sensitive to that. There's nothing in what I did here, so that's great. So now I can, I think I will split the screen and use that fancy trick again. I'll come down to row 42, and I will click once on B2 and once on B42, and then I will choose fill down, and that's all fine, except I don't want Deborah to have 2s, so I'll space it out. But that's so funny. Now I can't space it out because I'm only allowed 1, 2, or 3. So I've got myself in a catch-22. So I'm going to come back here and go to validation, and I'm going to go to settings, and I think I'm going to try to type in comma, and I will say put an underscore. Maybe I can try a space. So now I can put a space there. Nope, space. Nope, it doesn't let that. Okay, so I'll have to do something else. Validation. I'll try a star. And now I'll put a star in for Deborah. That works. And I will highlight from there, use the shift click trick, fill down. I'm good. Let's center that. Let's copy that and put it under Michael and put it under Rob. And now I've got 3 columns ready to go, right, for 1, 2, or 3. Now I want to do a fancy thing, which is just mostly to teach you. It's not really necessary. So I'm going to use C to mean results in, and I'll copy that to E1 and G1, and I'll go to a portion of my spreadsheet way down, maybe in B50, and I will say 1 means, 2 means, 3 means, and 1 means I knew this feature before the course began, period. 2 means I learned this as part of the first few lessons. 3 means I am still shaky on this feature. So I'm defining a little table, tax table if you want, lookup table if you want, okay, down here. And this table lives in B50 to C52. So again, I'm in teaching mode, and I'm mostly doing this so that I can teach you what we already know, but I'm sort of reteaching you the lookup table, because you got to see things more than once or twice, and you got to practice them. So I go to C2 and I say equal, and then I say lookup, and then I say parenthesis, and I say lookup B2, comma, and I'm going to now say the lookup values, which are B50 colon B52, and then bring back C50 to C52, ascending order from low to high, push return, and now it says NA, but when Deborah types in 1, it says I knew that. I will make that column wider. I will make the text in that column smaller. And now I have the environment that when Deborah types in 2, right, it tells her 1, 2, or 3, what it means right next as a slight reminder. Again, I'm not saying this is ideal to do, but it's more of a pedagogical thing. And now if I take this and I fill it down, I should be happy, right? Oh no, I'm not happy. And you know why. Because you're smart enough in this class to know that I don't have absolute referencing over here. Okay, so what I want to do is look at the formula here, and you're going to tell me, because you're not a beginner at the dollar sign anymore, that we need to put dollar signs here, here, it's a little hard, but you got to do it. Between there, I'm going to use the arrow keys right in front of that B, right in front of that B52, right in front of that C, right in front of the C50, right in front of the D52, C52, and there. So I'm putting $6 signs. There is a shortcut I promised you, and I will share that with you. I promise both Mac and PC it's slightly different. And B2 does not get dollar signs because B2 is what it's looking up. And now I take that, and now I'll take that, and I'll shift click, and I'll fill down, and I'm not bothered by those NAs. Those NAs are because Deborah hasn't typed 1, 2, or 3 in there. Okay, and now I've got a pretty good environment. I can make column C be smaller again, just so it fits. I can highlight from C2 to C42, and I can copy and paste it into Michael's column and paste it into Rob's column, and I could trust that we will have success here. But I'm going to peek at the formulas. Remember, Control and that funky key reveals the formulas, and notice they're all based upon B52 and C52, so I'm happy about that. And maybe on the bottom I'm going to put a little portion called Summary, right? And this might be the number of ones, number of twos, number of threes. And so will you help me please with the formula that's going to tell me how many times Deborah put in a 1 above. So all formulas begin with equals. Do you remember the formula that counts, right? Counts if. It counts if. So it's count if, and it's going to count if in the range of B2 colon B42, and it's going to count how often that is equal to 1. Now, since I'm getting better with the dollar sign, do I want a dollar sign when I fill this down? B2 to B42, is 2 to 42 sacred? Yes, 2 to 42 is sacred. So I'm going to put the dollar sign in front of the 2 and the dollar sign in front of the 42, making them absolute. I'm not going to put it in front of the B because I'm going to try to do the same thing for Michael and Rob. So now I'm going to press return, and it found 3. And now if I bring this down, that's strange. Oh, because it's 1, 2, or 3. I have to go in and change that to 2 and change that to 3. And now I'm going to copy this, paste here, paste here, might as well copy this as well. And we will colorize this summary section. And we're good. And pretty much we're finished, but there's always one more clever thing we can do. So let's say I want to find the average of Deborah, Michael, and Rob for each item. I'm going to come over to A. I'm going to insert a column. I'm going to put average in here. And there's a guy in my past who 20 years ago said this was something he never thought of, because he always thought that average had to be on the far right of all the numbers, because he had worked on paper for 20 or 30 years. And he said to me, Steve, that's the best thing you ever taught me, that you can put average and totals on the far left, right? That he never would have thought of doing that. So here I want to go equal average, and now I want 3 cells, C2, comma, E2, comma, G2, and that's Deborah's number, Michael's number, and Rob's number. And then I'm going to press return, and now I'm going to click on that and shift click on A42 and fill down and center as well, and figure out by opening that up a little bit. Oh, it's dividing by 0 because it doesn't have the numbers yet. So that's okay. And now we truly are done. And we've accomplished just what we were looking for. And we've done a little bit of a review of things, but you've also learned about this important thing called validation, which I hope you're going to use many, many times in your Excel life. Okay? Steve Bergen signing off, and hope this has been helpful. Bye, everybody.